Hey, it's Regan here. I know it's been a little while since my last video, so I'm slacking a little bit on my New Year's resolution, but let's just pretend that didn't happen. So I want to tell you about this new playlist I made on Spotify called School Dance Reject. The idea for this playlist came to me when I was watching the end of Stranger Things Series 2. So you know what I'm talking about, it's the snowball, obviously. Dustin has spoken to Steve, got some advice, and he goes into the dance. Basically all the girls reject him and he very sadly ends up sitting alone crying. Really sad watching that part of the show. I was thinking about my experiences at school dances. I guess it's this thing where you have an idea of how that kind of thing is going to go down and then it just doesn't happen and it sucks. So what I thought I'd do in the spirit of being honest and open is tell you a few of my school dance reject stories. See how I got it in there another time. Story number 1 goes like this. There was this guy I really liked. I needed a date for the dance and I somehow got the courage to ask if he wanted to go with me and he said yes, which obviously was amazing. Oh, I'm gonna go to my first high school dance and I asked the guy out that I liked and he's gonna go with me. So this is just, I've won already. It's a perfect situation. So I know you're wondering what happened. It was in the morning that I asked this guy out to the dance. Let's call him Chris. So we get to lunchtime, I go and meet up with my other friends and I tell them that Chris agreed to go to the dance with me. And then they say, no, he's not going with you. He's going with, let's call her Alice. So immediately I obviously have to know what is going down. Turns out that he had forgotten that he was going to the dance with me. I mean, first off, who does that actually? Like, who forgets that somebody asked them to go to a dance and they said yes? And secondly, who forgets that in the space of like 3 hours between your first lesson of the day and your lunch break? Just thinking about that now, it makes me really angry. I mean, I was upset at the time. I was extremely embarrassed and I felt generally shit about it. So Chris decided to go to the dance alone, which is the only good thing that he did do. So story 2 actually takes place only a few days after that whole thing happened. I still needed a date to the dance and I thought, right, I've done the whole crush thing, why don't I just ask a friend? I had a friend, let's call him Peter, and he was a really nice guy. He was in my music technology class and we got on really well and like joked around and stuff. So I thought maybe he'll probably enjoy it. It'd be cool, just go together and have a good time. So I go and talk to Peter and I'm like, hey Peter, how would you like to go to the dance with me? Just like a friends thing. I thought it'd be kind of cool who went together. And he was basically starting to turn me down because he said it sounded like a cool idea, but he was worried that people would think that we were an item, that people would get the wrong idea about us. You know, because apparently being thought of as my boyfriend would be totally disgusting and offensive. Yeah, that did hurt. He was my friend. I had no romantic inclinations towards him. It was just upsetting to just sort of hear him say that. He did eventually agree to go with me. Possibly in hindsight, I shouldn't have bothered and I shouldn't have been so desperate, but whatever. I did actually have a date to that dance eventually. So I'm leaving the dance and I see Chris, the guy who forgot earlier, and he's sitting on a bench talking to another girl in my class and they randomly start kissing. I know we went to the dance together, but still I was like, that's a bit of a rude thing. Like, you know that I like you. Why would you just do that in front of me for no reason? And I calmly walked past them. I was like, you're not going to get to me. Well, at least in public anyway. I got home and I was just so upset. I was crying, I was angry, and I wrote this whole thing in my diary about it. Anyway, the next day she came to speak to me and basically told me what had happened, which is they're not into each other at all. There was nothing going on. They thought it would just be funny to kiss in front of me. Really funny, guys. So yeah, all in all, that dance was not a very successful event. My third story is not strictly related to a school dance, but it's sad, so I thought I'd share it anyway. So like I said, this was not at a school dance, but it was at this cool event that we had. Pupils who had bands in school could just perform for everyone. The last band finishes playing and everyone starts to leave. So as we're walking away, this guy that I liked came up to me. So this was a different guy. He was in the year above me. I had also sent him an anonymous Valentine's card, which I presumed I'd done really low-key and secretly, but I guess he found out it was me anyway. Flashback to the end of the concert. Walking back, he comes up to me, starts talking to me and puts his arm around me. So then this other guy comes up to me and says, you know they're filming you, right? So I turn around and there are actually guys there holding a camera filming this whole thing. So I quickly get away in the most dignified manner that I could muster at that moment. I ran away and I sat on some steps and basically was crying. So then I texted my friend Meg and she came to comfort me. She had one of her guy friends with her. It's that kind of general thing. She was just like, oh, just don't worry about him. He's being a dick. And then her guy friend was also trying to comfort me. And he said something along the lines of, well, you know, I know the other girls at school, they might be really beautiful, but you've got a really great personality. Obviously, personality is really important, and it was nice that he thought that I had a great personality. But you know, that's just not the thing you say in that moment. Like, I appreciate what he was trying to go for, but it was just wrong. There's nothing more to that story. That's basically what happened. So if you have any of your own school dance reject stories that you would like to share, I'd love to see them or hear them. Don't forget to use the hashtag #SchoolDanceReject, because then I'll be able to see them all. Also, don't forget to check out and subscribe to my School Dance Reject playlist that I did on Spotify. Link is in the description. If you like this video, it'd be super awesome and cool if you could like and subscribe to the Ryker channel. We really appreciate it.